Yes, it's fantastic.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, good. Welcome. You won one of the free sessions, I believe, right?
Yep. On YouTube.
From yes, on YouTube from this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, look at that. Within what? When did I post it? Within like a week, I guess. You got your session as well, so it should be current. Well, it was a busy Sunday. How was your Sunday so far?
Not too bad. I got boards in a couple of weeks, so I haven't been playing Maple too much.
Oh, okay.
But yep, not too bad.
Boards. That's medical school.
Yeah, I got a big exam coming up in 2 weeks.
Damn. Okay.
It's all good. I'm sure it'll go fast.
Just remember the ankle bones connected to the right. That's how you learn everything.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's all I know.
All of it is a lot of mnemonics, right?
Something like that. On memorization.
Or your memory palace, whatever works. So today you didn't go too crazy on all of the what do you had? Inner ability, soul training.
I got like an hour of training, I think, and I called it a day. Did my Monster Park,
Gotcha.
and I did some inner abilities on my Lin, but that's about it.
Okay. So what's your situation? I guess I see the questions here, but tell me a little bit about your, I guess your main character, side characters, bossing. Like, how much time do you spend? What do you spend your time on?
Yeah, so I main Bishop, the best class, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been playing MapleStory. I got back last year in September, and I started Reboot then. So it's almost been a year.
Okay.
And since then, I've been pretty casual. I haven't been farming much. I've maybe done like one or two wops in my entire career. So, like full wops, obviously the 2 hour wops.
Yeah. Some more half hours here and there.
Yeah, mostly doing dailies, but I somehow got to 280, and
Yeah.
and now I'm here thinking about how to progress because I'm already libbed.
Nice.
And
Congrats.
I wanna thank you, and I wanna reach the higher tier bosses, like specifically like Extreme Black Mage, the extreme bosses basically, as well as
Mm-hmm.
the future bosses like Limbo. And I want to see what's the difference between me right now, who just lived,
Mm-hmm.
and someone that's end game, someone like a bishop with an 80k culvert.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And where are you at with like Culvert and with like the type of bosses that you run now?
I'm about like 20k culvert, I think. Like last time I checked, but my guild, you don't need to do culvert, so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just did it out of a whim.
Gotcha.
Um, and in terms of the bosses, I can clear e-calling, and my party was gonna progress to end-calling soon, but that party I kind of left because I figured, because I have boards and everything, it would be
Mm-hmm.
too much time investment at that point, so I am just doing e-calling.
Right. So like Enkalos, Ekaling, you do like pickup groups now or what?
Enkalos and HSAR, and I have another party that
Oh, gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
chill with,
Mm-hmm.
but e-calling whenever. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then you're thinking of like Extreme Lotus as like the next and normal culling. Yeah. Basically this order here with Limbo kind of sticking out like a sore thumb because he's not out yet. But basically
Yeah, I know.
these four new bosses, right?
Like, thinking about the future, of course.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Okay. And in terms of like, yeah, so you're playing a lot less per week now, so you're not like a hardcore player. You're okay with grind? I mean, you said you didn't grind much, so you're mostly just daily gamer and like bossing
Like,
mules?
yeah, mostly bossing mules. On my main, maybe I play like 1 hour, maybe 2 hours if I'm doing like event stuff. But in terms of farming, basically about 1 hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, well, you're already pretty far into the game, so there's like a whole bunch of basics that we don't have to cover at all. So I guess we can look at these questions here. Is there, I guess, is there any desire to stay with your same party? Like, is there an ambition there as well to move up with the same guys, or do you need a new party? I
In
guess.
terms of my current Kalos party, yeah, I mean they're cool. I like them. That's why I stuck with them, even though they can be, non-meta. But
Oh, is it like off-meta classes or what?
it's 3 shads, man. There's too many shads. We have too many gray bennies. We don't need that many gray bennies. And whenever we
Like
do pick up groups or
cloud
something,
going on?
whenever we like need fills, they keep getting more shads. Like we don't need to do Enkalos with 4 shads.
Yeah, that's well, you mean you have a burst every 90 seconds, right? So just switch your benediction to a 90-second Benny, and then
2 minute, yeah.
yeah.
I'm just playing. They're good guys.
Good guy.
That's why I stuck with them. Yeah.
Wait, what else do you have except for like a legion of shadowers?
We have a Nightwalker,
Okay.
and then we have me.
So you guys are 5-manning finding a fill, or what?
I think so. I think we usually do pick up one person. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy. I mean, if you got 3 shads, everyone wants to join that party. You know, they know shit's going down.
Oh man.
So maybe you can find a Night Lord or a Dual Blade to join. You know, to bring some diversity to that party.
Why not bring a Phantom too?
Yeah, I
while
was
we're
gonna
at
say
it,
maybe
you
a
know?
Phantom or a Xenon. You know,
Yeah.
like all the get all the
Yeah.
main picks in there.
The extremes over here. Yeah, of course.
Difference. Would you say difference between 20k culvert and top end? Oh yeah, okay. So
like what I was talking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there is one thing is just setting up the perfect timing, and then the second thing is like setting up the timing perfectly for your damage. Because like how quickly you move through. Because I feel like as bishop, you like origin first, right? Because you wanna.
I think that's 60 seconds in.
There's 60 seconds. Yeah, because there's like the added value of going through the early phases really quickly, right? So that you get to the harder body fast, so you can do damage on high score for longer. 'Cause I imagine that the meta like shifts not only like depending on your cooldowns and you know but also like how strong you are exactly will kind of change the order typically in terms of what you can expect to like squeeze stuff out. How's your Ozring situation?
Oh yeah, I have a Con 4 and Roar 3 weapon jump 3.
Okay. So, well, you're doing the harder bosses, so you've got some white box odds, so that's pretty good. Yeah, and endgame stuff is also just like completely min-maxed out of the Matrix, right? Those people you see are at like the 95th percentile of like efficiency done on the Matrix, essentially. They're just working on Solianas.
Oh, I've been working on that right now too. I just want to get to level 10 so I can AFK farm, basically. Yep.
Yeah, you got your self-summon, and then an extra summon, and then 2 more, so... Yeah. You just spam Big Bang in one spot.
Basically. Maybe I'll do a jump once in a while.
Oof.
Spice things
Okay,
up.
don't get too crazy now. 3 enough. Oh, you're working on the stat? Or you're pausing the stat node for now to just get the Solianis out? Okay.
I'm at level 9 and I'm like 220 frags out of 300 for level 10, so I'm pretty close anyway. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Matrix looking interesting. Okay. Oh, the Legion outside is looking interesting. Got a lot of those cross pieces. Those are always a dream to get rid of. Oh, you just got one. Okay. Yeah, the Legion pieces, they're like the shape of a cross, right?
Oh.
Mage 250 plus are
Yeah.
a dream.
I got a bunch of 250s recently, so I haven't really what's it called? Modified my Legion board. I haven't cleaned it up just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of overlap and everything, yeah. Okay. Legion Artifact 40 soon, so that'll give you that last level, I think, right? For this guy, and unlocking the next one. So that's all nice. 130 boss damage and 1 normal drop, fam. So normal, so not large drop? what that means?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gone large drop yet.
Hmm. Is that something that you're thinking about prioritizing a little bit in the short term?
So it's something that's kind of like I'm not too sure about because right now I have 380 drop. Sorry.
Hmm.
So getting large drop would essentially just means like I don't have to get the green pot to get 380, right? Like I'm not 100% sure if it's worth it at this point instead of just waiting for the blue cards that's coming out and re-rolling the unique fams.
Hmm. Yeah, it might be a good idea to just wait the extra 2 days, see the patch notes, see if it's a haha, you're gonna get to this event, good luck, or if it's actually in the Legion shop and you can like buy them
Right.
regularly or something. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because you're at 380 with your real holy symbol?
Yeah.
So be 40, 20, which you're still missing something then, right? Because
380 is
I'm
like the
426 with like fake holy symbol.
yeah, but you got large drop, right?
Yeah, but that's an extra. Oh, do you have a 50% regular? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the
50,
50%
50,
regular.
50.
Yeah, so you're missing 50. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, so 430 with yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, that's the only thing you're missing. You got all the other drop. Yeah, okay, that's fine then. Yeah, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Sacreds looking healthy. It's always weird for me to see the Crystal Ventus badge next to a Saren emblem. That's just that's like day 2 of playing versus like day 1 year of playing. Like chilling out next to each other. It's so wild. Is that 3 set pitch right now? No, 4.
4.
4. Okay, very nice. 4 in a year. Nice. Some people don't even see that many drops in a year.
So yeah, I've been pretty lucky with pitched. I mean, I've seen more pitched than arcane boxes at this point, so it's kind of messed up. Not gonna lie.
And these have all hit. And except for the
Mm,
shoe, I'm guessing, is a little bit of a
are you
counter.
talking about arcanes or pitched?
Yeah, yeah, the arcane, yeah.
Oh yeah, the shoes and the cape.
They just don't
Because
want
I
to
don't have,
go.
I just don't have spares. Like I just don't have spares.
No. Well, I guess since 2 of them are done, you can pump them all into just these 2, so that gives you a bit more direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everything else is done. Flames are okay. Yeah, these are looking decent. Book. Well, I guess the Superior Earring Flame isn't the best, but you know it's superior. So, what can you expect?
Mm.
And your Weapon Flame I saw is really nice. Oh, and the Berserk Flame is also really nice, so that helps for sure. Source 22. Okay. Pretty good. So not too much you could really do on cubing. I guess just the emblem, right? And like
Yeah, the emblem is a big thing, and like 3 lighting potentials, I guess, and fixing
Yeah.
my weapon.
Yeah, the weapon will be decent gains as well. I mean, you get the prime magic attack. That's always nice. Technically double prime, but like one of the ugliest double primes you'll ever roll.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but I get this is I mean totally like cube sale waitable, right? So end of November, most likely next cube sale.
Yeah, I'm not having trouble like killing mobs.
So that's
If I was
good.
having issues
Mm-hmm.
killing mobs, then obviously I'd be looking
Yeah.
for magic attack, but
Yeah.
no issues
So
right now.
should be good. Okay. Okay. So what's your has the rest of your team also done like a scouter to kind of like look at where they're at in terms of moving on to the next bosses if you guys are planning to stay together?
They might have. I haven't seen it though. Not sure.
But have they indicated that they're also
Like
looking
half.
towards
So half of them do.
Okay.
But the Nightwalker and another Shad, they haven't. They're pretty casual, so if they don't want to, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, because for Extreme Lotus is a 2-man, and then Limbo is up to 3-man, right?
Mhm.
So like, they're gonna have to start. They're gonna start fighting over you, possibly. You're gonna have
Yeah,
the
maybe.
luxury
I
of
mean,
picking who you want as your partner.
I haven't um been thinking about Extreme Lotus just yet. I was thinking maybe I should level up first before going there, but that's something I want to discuss here too, I guess, because of bossing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you can talk about that now if you want.
Yeah, sure. Like, I don't know, like, what would be a good time for me to start entering these bosses, because as bishop, we do have bishop privilege.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you can blue dot, you can join any party. But I don't know how that's gonna work out with the harder bosses now. Not that the party size is gonna be smaller and smaller.
Yeah. I mean, for Extreme Lotus, so percentages, I mean, percentages adding up to 100% in a Scouter means that you can definitely like give it a try, but if you just barely hit 100%, right, it's going to be probably not going to work out, or at least not on the first few tries. You're going to need to do some practice. Like where my arc is at about, is like high 70s%. So like mathematically, with your bishop, I think you could definitely just like do some practice, and you got obviously you got synergy advantage with the bishop. So
Mm-hmm. FD stacking and everything, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I would definitely like try Extreme Lotus as soon as you can. Because the thing with Extreme Lotus is that if you are considering doing Extreme Lotus, that also means that you can run and practice that until like 3 minutes before reset, and then just run into Hard Lotus and probably still kill it, right? So you're doing Hard Lotus in like under 2 minutes,
Like
right?
seconds, yes.
Yeah, like the transitions take longer than the the actual
Yeah,
boss fight.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess that's the benefit. And since you are a bishop, you're probably gonna have to also, like, if you do want to practice with one of the people, and it's like, oh wow, we're just like, we're not even remotely close. Like, our mechanics are getting better, but our damage is not there. You can also see like, okay, we're just like a size too small, and then maybe you try with someone else, or because you'll have infinity of people to pick from as a bishop, right? As long as you get your mechanics up and you make sure that you're like not dying. There's a decent amount of DPM that you can do. Like your longer Origin is also quite nice to keep doing damage. It's just going to be all about, and you have 2 3-minute bennies, so you can synchronize with pretty much anyone. And your infinity's all good. Your buff duration's all good. It's all being built out. Got your
Totally.
inner and stuff is chilling.
So I don't have boss damage. I have buff duration as well as 1+1 attack speed, but I just haven't
Oh yeah.
changed Meso Obtained yet.
Okay. Is that something
But
you
that's
might want to try today, or do you have another one?
I was trying to get the Meso Obtained on my what is it called?
On the mobbing
My
inner
farming.
first?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay. Yeah, and then once you hit that, you'll move over, yeah. I mean, that's probably going to be, it's going to be like 7 to 10% at the best, right? So, I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not going to be like, oh, now you can solo Extreme Lotus.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be
We're
like
golden
what,
now.
2 FD at most, so it's like not a big priority.
Pick another bishop and just always Benny each other,
Yo,
Rob
low
parties.
key. Maybe find a Lin.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes, 3 minutes. It'd be nice.
For normal, I mean, I would say normal culling you will probably already join. You just need to find a party that runs it. It's going to be definitely way more challenging than easy, comparatively. Like, you're probably not one bursting out of the dog unless you find like a really strong person. Maybe, same person that you would do Extreme Lotus with, and that with you with Benediction and boosting them that you could maybe. But that's already pretty tricky. You have to be damn strong for that. So that'll be someone else who's also let me check if I get my Scouter, because I mean, give that maybe a little bit as an example. This is mine on my arc.
Should I turn on your stream? Is that?
Oh yeah. If you could check out the stream, just mute it so you don't hear yourself and me again. That'll be a bit much.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm 8 set, roar 4, kind of eternal, but not completely yet. But I'm like 77k stat with my roar on, and that's like and 2 level 285. Because I guess that's the other thing. One of the big things that will make this score go up a lot without even making any upgrades is just your level. Yeah, alone.
So I checked it out. If I was 285, it'd be like 50%, so I'd be able to do like, the min cut, so to speak.
Well, your min cut is, I don't know how well they do min cut for duos on supports and how much you can kind of scale up on that. That I am not 100% with because I haven't used the Scardor too much. I don't know if it means that if someone has 50% and your bishop has 50%, then that means that if you go together that you actually do 100%, or that if you go together you do like 125 or like 130, you know? I'm not 100% on that. Maybe there's other bishops who use the Scardor who can let you, from experience. But ultimately, I would say the best way is to give these a try and just see how horrible it is. Because I imagine the first few practice sessions, you're just going to practice the boss and just get better at dodging everything. Because there's... In that third stage, there's quite a lot of stuff flying around. Like, even the platforms itself, like, break up and start flying at you. So there's enough to...
Looks fun.
It looks like it's like a new challenge. And, it's the only boss that technically has 3 pitches on the drop table, although most people won't need a berserk anymore, I hope, by the time they get there. But you can always use some extra hearts, so...
Could use the... what is it called? Under control? Totally under control? What is that new heart called?
Yeah, did they keep that the same name? I forgot to check the name when during the CM stream, but I think that was under total control or something. It was one of the... something like that, yeah. Oh yeah, so you checked for level difference, so then that took you up towards 50%?
Oh, so level difference as well as fixing my, what's it called, the weapon potentials and 3-lining my emblem. So, like what? Adding 30 magic attack.
Okay. Yeah, we're losing, of course, our event buffs right now, but we are gaining event buffs again in the next... Yeah.
Yep.
So it should just replace it, so that should be fine. And that's not counting your rings, right? Your like weapon jump and roar hitting?
No, that's not counting.
Okay.
I put it as just con 4.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, as long as you're still hitting all of the bosses, then you get your maximum exposure to white boxes, then you're good on that. I guess for Black Mage here, they put 4-man cut because, they assume that you want, like, a decent chance for the badge. So, but, I mean, it seems that if you're at 75.6 and as a bishop, I think you can start joining that. You're gonna definitely start practicing it. Because I imagine there's a bunch of people, like, running it that are super overjuiced for it. And this is, at least, for me it says 4-man. Does it say... Oh, yeah.
This says party. Just says party for me.
It says impossible for you there, but you have some different translation. Did you use the manual translation or did you use the on-sites translation? Because they added English for it.
Yeah, I don't recall when I did what I did because I did this like when I won the what's it called, the giveaway. So that's like what, 3-4 days ago or something like that. So. My memory's shot right now.
Yeah.
Too much studying.
But if I switch this and then I do translate, I think, then impossibility. Yeah, no, it just does some. I don't know. I was just checking if that was maybe something that did the difference. Solomon cut. But yeah, it says here for 4-man, so I assume that if you were to 6-man, then this would be fine what you have right now. So I think you can start Extreme BM. I don't know if you're super attached to whatever regular BM party you have, or if you're trying to like exchange carry and liberate other characters. That might be something to think about.
I actually made a separate party for my second character, which is my hero. So I don't really have to worry about that.
Oh, okay.
Exchanging carries. I just finished Lib like last month.
On this guy, yeah. Okay. And the hero is like a few months in.
Yeah, I'm at Damien now, I think.
Okay. Yeah, you're right on schedule for that. Or, early, depending on how you look at it. But I guess new characters start lips way earlier. I remember that most characters would be about past 275 before they even start getting your first clear in. Because the amount of damage required, but it's quite a different game now.
That 6 jobs is too powerful.
Yeah, the power creep from that is just crazy. So I would say I think you could definitely practice Extreme Lotus, but you'll have to see if that's someone from your party or someone external, maybe someone in Guild or Alliance or something who you know is very strong, who's looking, and once you feel confident enough with like the mechanics and everything, right, that you can support them properly. A little bit up to you personally, but I think with Extreme Lotus you could definitely give it a go. Normal Culling, I'm pretty sure you can also start running, and Extreme BM is probably the toughest out of those. But I think you could, if you could find a party right now, I think you'd be good to run that as well. Limbo is I think is the spicy one, because you'll be fine on Sacred, but like level is going to be the big thing there, right? Did you check for 285 how far you are at
Oh yeah,
Limbo?
that's gonna take me like 6 months, cause like I get like 1 trill a day, something
Hmm.
like that.
That's not bad, honestly, because I got to 285 on like half a trill a day, so it's still like an okay pace. Yeah, it's not bad. Oh, thanks for rating the squeeze. What's up? But yeah, imagine even at your current stat at like 285, you're getting what, like 25 to 30% on Limbo, because that's a 3-man, right? So then you have to really start looking at specifically team composition.
I don't have to worry about team comp,
You don't,
at
yeah.
least in terms of my role.
But yeah, not your role, but you probably don't want a
My
2 minute
role is
and a
safe.
3 minute, and then you probably want either two 2 minutes or two 3 minutes, right?
Yeah,
To
just give
sync
me
it.
2 shads. I'm already
Yeah.
used to them.
Well, that's one thing to look at, I think, to keep as a, for personal thing, personal relationship and all that stuff, to keep it open and be like, yo, I'm looking for these next bosses. Who is open for those? Who do I need to take into consideration when thinking about like what party am I going to? Do I need to start from scratch? Do I just join a full party, or do I look for a party with like 2 spots so I can drag someone along? Because you can, by being the bishop, and there is high demand, you can also say like, hey, I'll join, but like my friend also wants to join, so that you come kind of as a package deal, right? You have the power to do that as well.
Yeah, so that's actually what happened with my with my current party. I was looking for a Grandis party, H. Saren and E. Kalos party with my IRL friend for Wild Hunter, and we kind of came as a package deal. But he quit, unfortunately. He started residency this year. But
Yeah,
I'm
busy
still,
professions, busy friends with in that line of work. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I'm still riding with these guys, these goons.
Is residency? Does it finally have like normal, somewhat hours? Like you don't have those fucking 48-hour shifts and stupid shit like that anymore.
I wish. Medicine is quite cruel.
Is it still that
They,
bad? I thought they like
it's pretty bad.
legalized a whole bunch of stuff around that.
So they did, but the problem is for certain residencies, like let's say surgical residencies,
Hmm.
you're kind of encouraged to underreport the hours that you do, so that the program doesn't get in trouble.
Gotcha.
So even though it's illegal, if you
Mhm.
don't get caught, it doesn't matter.
Surgeries can be super long though. Like you have to build stamina for that, right?
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
What is it, like transplants just take forever?
Oh yeah, just surgery in general.
Yeah.
Surgeries in general. It's grueling.
I mean, you're just out when you're the patient, so you don't really notice. But you hear like how many hours it is for like just one procedure. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and you get the best sleep of your life, and then obviously you wake up with a lot of pain, but during the twilight hours, it's great. It's great.
And you got to be on your
Yeah.
feet. You got to stay super focused. That's
Don't.
I don't envy it. Yeah, you're going into
It's
surgery. Are
terrible.
you going that
So
direction?
I just finished my surgical sub-I. I was thinking about it, but after doing a couple of 24 hours, it's just not it. It's just not it. Let me tell you.
You can hack it, is what you're saying?
The operating room is great, but I
Yeah,
do like my free time and playing a bit of Maple.
having some free time at all, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So another thing I was thinking about is like what happens after I hit 285. I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking about whether I want to main switch at that point because I don't know. I'm wondering if the grass is always greener. I'm like debating whether or not I want to try out another class because
Mm-hmm.
I spent like obviously quite a long time on this character.
and this game has like what 40, 50 total heroes that you can choose from.
Yeah,
So I kind of want
49
to try out more heroes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know about that. And something that's been on the back of my mind in terms of that influencing that thought process is potential bishop nerfs. What happens if your class gets gutted? Like what Kana? Like what happened to Kana?
Mm-hmm. I
I don't
think
know.
that's not as likely, right? Because Kana was not in Korea, so they're basically getting like broad brush, like huge buffs, huge nerfs, huge buff, or even just like huge changes to it that they don't seem to really understand how much it's going to impact it. And then, because Kana was way too strong for way too long, and then it got made too weak for probably too long as well. I think now Kana is the first time actually like kind of balanced and like where it kind of should be.
Yeah.
But it took quite a while for them to get there. Yeah, if you're thinking like so super long term, I guess you're seeing what happens to Aaron's now, right? Or I don't know
Oh
if you.
man, I
Yeah,
can't believe they even call that a remaster. They just.
because
Oh.
everyone was yelling for a revamp, and then they saw what happened to Aaron, and it's like maybe just keep our class the way it is. Maybe it's okay. Actually, just maybe leave it.
Yeah, just don't touch your characters at all.
Yeah, just So that I guess that is a real fear. I have always kind of so I guess I could tell you a little bit about my experience because I obviously been playing for like way longer. Whenever I got to a character that was close to like endgame, basically start like scratching endgame, I always feel like I'm losing a lot of efficiency on my time and just the amount of grinding that's necessary. I'm just not a grinder at heart either. And then I would just always start looking at another character, either one that I already have built up or one that's like, has a lot of materials to be built up, but it's just not quite there yet, to see if I want to, send it some more love. Like right now, I reached 285 on the arc, so I'm also just pivoting back a little bit to the DA, but it's mostly because I see that all the new content coming out is also 285. The only thing 290 is that new area with that new symbol, which it's nothing to sneeze at, but I'm so far away and I don't like grinding, and the limbo is going to be 285, and like the extra bonus damage past 285 is not super crazy if you're already at the level of the boss. So I'm okay with like staying the level where I'm at now, and if that means that my party eventually leaves me behind because they have more aspirations to level and they're going to 290 and I have to step down there, then I'm okay with potentially doing that. But because I'm also looking at like making content for stream and playing other characters, and I don't want that to just not be a possibility, because you're basically committing for like 5 levels at a time, right? And these 5 levels just take longer and longer and longer. It's not even like a 6 months project anymore. It's like a year project or plus at that point. So I think it's totally viable. I think most people do what you're doing. I mean, you're already living on the hero, so you're already quite a step ahead. But most people will either at like 275, at 280, or at 285 take like a serious step back from main character and kind of like start looking around, just to, because once you get to endgame, your value per time spent just goes down by so much, right? There's always something to do, but value per time goes down. And just to keep feeling like you're actually progressing and like you're still playing the game and be able to make upgrades and stuff like that, it could be it's a very normal behavior to start feeling like another character needs some more love. But from the way you're saying it, it does make me feel like hero isn't necessarily that class for you, or
I don't like heroes mobbing. I'm not gonna lie. Heroes mobbing is so bad, even with Soul Janus. But
Okay.
I was thinking about making hero like 275 and making it kind of like a juiced boss meal.
yeah,
And
like maybe
then
solo C10A or
yeah, solo C10A.
small
If
party
anybody
Siren
needs,
maybe.
yeah, if anyone needs help with
Ikalos.
H-Siren, I can help
Yeah.
help them with that.
Okay.
Um,
Because that's a
I
good
was
thing
thinking-
to think about it, like what position you want to fund them for, not just to see like how long do you want to play them and everything, but also like itemization equipment can also become quite a big part of that, and like knowing where you're going to push a character and where you're going to keep it.
Exactly.
Like Sweetwater stuff, I wouldn't advise it for everyone, but if you have a specific goal in mind of like that's where the character is going and that's where it's staying, then Sweetwater gear could be amazing and could be like the best thing to use. But
Yeah, I
it's
think
kinda
they're
like
kind of underrated. I know it's like a
100%,
daily.
100%
It's like a
underrated.
daily you have to do. Like
I mean,
10
it's
minutes
annoying
per day.
content. People don't really like it, and I understand that. If you're not gonna do You're not gonna gravitate towards content that you feel you don't like. I get that, but to then say that it's not worth it, I think that's always it's a bit of an overstretch because I've got a character with like a 21 star transpose pendant and a 21 Sweetwater tattoo, and that means like never have to worry about Twilight marks, basically never have to worry about getting extra Dominator. So like that's a daily you can cut off like week 2 when I got the Dominator, and then focus purely on itemization on the character. I don't know, it's not for every character and it's not for every player, but I feel like you have to keep it as an option.
That's how I see it as well. Like unlimited realistic best in slot gear is always good, even though it's like 10 minutes per day. If you plan on pushing it that far, yeah, I agree with that. But I was thinking about pushing maybe either my Mercedes or building a Kana as well. I do like playing support, and I feel like in this game at least, supports do as much as DPS and even more. So
yeah,
feel like
they can. Bishop is a good example. You get your infinities unlock, and then
yeah, Bishop. There's no flaws with this character. It's too good.
Not really. I mean, before Destiny, it was arguably the worst class, and it was always at the bottom of all the. Basically, when we were doing like DPM charts, we would other people's DPM would be expressed in how many bishops worth of damage they did. That's how. That was like Night Lord was like 4.5 bishops, basically. Like that was like the measuring stick. And then with Destiny, and with the change for Infinity and like unreliable memory becoming reliable, essentially, that changed the whole game by so much.
Yeah, so I think it came at a good time. I only played Bishop because that's why I played when I was playing MapleStory as a kid, but
gotcha.
I'm glad Bishop's in a great spot.
That's so wild. You're playing as a kid, and now you're going to be like a doctor, and so you're still playing. Somehow this thing is still around. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. It's older than some of my party members. I think one of them's like 22. Oh wait, how old is MapleStory? Is MapleStory around that age? I think so, right?
In Korea, it turned 21 this summer. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy.
He was still running around in diapers basically when MapleStory was released. Yeah.
That's a scary thought. That's a scary thought.
I mean, the next generation is gonna start playing, right? People have kids now; their kids are playing it.
Oh, God, play this toxic game. No, please stay away.
But I guess Mercedes is a character that you've considered like sending some more resources to. I mean, I guess it's like a 26k, so it's gotta be like like almost 30k stat probably.
I don't recall. I just finished 6th job for her. I don't even know. I don't even know. I just hyper burned her.
Okay.
So yeah, so I guess at this point, like where can I expect to get games from besides finishing off, WSE potentials? Is it just like Hexa at this point, and Eternals?
Yeah, Hexa's a huge part. So there's Hexa, Eternals, Pitch, and there's like min-maxing everything, and then there's double priming and 23 starring essentially.
Okay, so does 23 starring actually give you that much FD?
Less than double priming.
Right. So it's just like.
But you'll end up with like a whole inventory full of Daybreak pendants and slime rings essentially, and that's like the first place to go. And there's going to be a lot of time in between getting Eternals and getting pitches, and even having anything else to spend on, because cube sales are basically the prime time to go for double prime if you want to, and that's really only around like in May and in November.
I see. So
it's also kind of around the time for the Shinings. Those are like in June and in December, so they're actually kind of close, which is a little bit annoying because you have to really divide your resources.
They're trying to milk you for all that you're worth.
Yep.
I guess then. So is that the difference between someone like we mentioned earlier, alluded to earlier, like me? That's like it's 20k culvert, and someone like I think Nitaru was like probably around 80k. Is that like what's the difference? Like finishing Hexa, finishing double prime, and everything.
Yeah, Hexa has to be like basically done full maxed. Then there's double priming, like WC double primed, and then 23ing is definitely not included in there. That's like much smaller gains, right? Because it's also only weapon attack. It's not stat anymore at 23, so that doesn't hit quite as hard. Definitely getting the rings, right? Getting the weapon jump 4 and the roar 4. I don't know if you use... You probably only use the continuous and the roar, I'm guessing. But I would have to look
No,
at like specifically the bishop setup.
I use Whip Jump 3 as well because
Yeah.
it would push my benediction to 80k, which
You weapon jump for the
then you get
Benny
that.
and then to the other ring to do the actual bursting, I guess.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I do ring swap between
Oop.
Weapon Jump and Roar 3 as well.
Yeah, I guess that is useful for your class, you know, having that extra stat. But then like within that damage that you get, then like hyper optimizing the exact, you know, like to the half second, like the timing of popping everything and your fatal strikes, and there is then the added level of like going into a channel that's a little bit laggier with higher ping, so that your fatal strike can proc longer.
Oh man,
You know, yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, I think on the Hero Discord they have a bot that tells you which channel's laggy, right, or something.
yeah.
Oh
Sometimes
man.
people will do like I've heard like there was a time where people like the rank 1 and 2 guild were like really close, so they called an MVP to a channel to get more people in there, so they could make the channel laggier, so that they could all run again to get their fatal strike to proc longer, so they could
That
beat.
is crazy.
And it worked, and they got I think it was Excel back then, and they got their rank 1 by like 50 or 60,000 like total score because they had like the strongest people rerun with like a laggier fatal strike, because it can last like, you know, sometimes shorter than the duration says, or sometimes more than twice as long, and it can make a, if you're that strong, it can be like 8 to 9,000 score just extra on your run. It could be a huge difference.
Yeah, especially like maybe if you time it with a juiced origin, I can imagine it being disgusting.
Like the end of your infinity, you're pushing like max max final damage there. So it's all of that, because it's really weird to look at like how can I possibly like 4x my damage when I'm this close to being maxed out, right? It doesn't feel like there's that you're at 25% of your capacity, but it's just all those little things all just compounding on top of each other with like perfect strat. It's like, because if you add like all of the percentage stat that you could gain, like quote unquote like the double prime plus a line on your glove, for example, that's something that's still like more reasonable than any of the other double priming, right? So that's also a thing to do. But if you add all of that stat up, I wouldn't be surprised if there's still like 70% intellect or something that you could still gain just from the potentials.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I do have a
Yeah.
lot of int left to go, but I'm just
and then
surprised
full,
that there's so
if you-
much difference.
well, if you get full pitch, you also gain a lot of stat. Like the ring and the belt are level 200, so that's a lot of stat gained, and you only lose a little bit of a boss and IED, which for you is not that big, and your heart even just gives it back, right, when you get it. And then the heart comes with 77 weapon and magic attack when you transfer it, which means that it gives you more straight up damage than just 30% int even does. So, you know, regardless of the boss damage of the IED. And so that's why I was gonna give you the comparison, because my arc is at 8 set.
Wow.
And so with a roar on, and so eternal wise I have a 22 and two 17s, so there's still a lot of room for growth there. But just with like I don't think I have it on now, but like with Maple Warrior, with these are combat orders, I'm at 77,000 stat. And then I am also focused on like all of the things I can still do to improve, you know, like I still need a whole extra piece for pitch, that's a level 200, so that's still going to be a decent amount of damage on top of a reinforced Golix ring. And
Do you have a potable badge?
I have a potable badge, so yeah, that's where some of that stat definitely comes from.
So, okay, you're probably
That
not going
medical
to switch
stat.
it out ever for Jenny badge, right? I think it's less FD.
No. Yeah, even
Yeah.
with the 10 set bonus, it's less, yeah. And also because
crazy.
it's potential badge, it's also the easiest to double, or the easy to double prime. So then makes it even harder for it to compete. And technically the easiest to triple prime, but you know, you're going into some some crazy territories. But I mean,
Alright.
I mean, some people are gonna start looking at like 23ing Eternals. If you look at the cost for that versus, you know, triple priming a badge, I think it actually becomes like comparable. So, yeah, and then you have Roar 5 still and Weapon Jump 5s, right, with the Grand Stones.
Oh, yeah.
That's
haven't seen one yet. Yeah.
yeah, that's another thing.
Ooh.
And it's that I imagine, I don't know, the bishop. I don't know if you have like a video like for his full gear set, but I imagine there's like a 5 ring in there maybe somewhere.
Yeah, I think he
Big
has a weapon
pitched.
jump 5. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So he's probably
Alright.
I don't know what does that make you, like 140k stat or some, I don't know, some bullshit. I don't even know how high I go. Wait, let me, if I just pop my stuff, with my weapon jump, I
Yeah.
was that like 110. Oh, I'm at 94k stat almost. I don't know if I have literally everything on, but and then I do my regular ring right after that. Oh, it goes away. Rip.
R.I.P.
But yeah, 94. So that's
So
just. But yeah, that's still
just
So I'm still 10 stars here on Eternal plus plus a pitch plus a ring, and then my matrix is not even near, but like my culvert is like 47 or something. So yeah,
okay.
so I'm thinking percentage-wise, I'm pretty close, but if everything is there, I could probably double my culvert, I think. So like, I'd probably be aiming for
So-
something in like the 90s towards 100.
Are you doing end calling or hard calling?
We just switched to normal calling, but we don't have a support in our party, which makes it a
wow.
lot harder. So we're doing it with full DPS members because there's like a group of friends who wants to stay together and do it, and I appreciate that. And they also watch the stream and stuff, and have friends in the stream and everything. So I helped like with pushing up my arc. I put a little extra effort in to bring my arc into that party because originally my DA was in their party, but like my DA, right? You have to really decide when you get to 6th job which character you're going to like prioritize, because if you try to main 2 characters, you either have to play 25 hours a day, or you have to not make any progress on both characters, any noticeable progress. So you really have to dedicate to one.
Right. So I guess a follow-up question to that, since you did mention that since you just hit 285 on your arc, are you planning on focusing more on your DA then?
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
so, are you gonna like
yeah.
pump? Are you gonna pump like frags into him then?
So I'm gonna keep pumping frags into the arc for now because I still want to push towards C Kalos, but I don't really need levels for C Kalos. I just need time. So what I decide to do for now, until we see like some crazy content or anything, is just keep my half hour a day, but just do it in area that drops familiars. So I still keep getting the same amount of fragments roughly, but I also get familiars because my Demon Avenger does not have any boss fams. So I think that's like the main thing where I can gain a lot of damage on the DA, because the DA is also in Eternal Waiting Room, and Pitch Waiting Room is like force set like you. I think I might have like almost the exact same pieces. But also has a potential patch that's nice. Oh, I don't have an emblem yet, but I have a book instead. So it's basically the same. But I've blown up some pitched already, so yeah, that guy's just waiting. So yeah, there's not much for me to do except for build my Hexa. So I'm probably gonna train like half an hour a day on both, and train both of them in the Burning Cernium, so that I can get a lot of familiars. Hopefully, get some boss fams on there. And still keep getting fragments on each, but I'm gonna keep pumping on the arc for C Kalos, because with this upcoming update, C Kalos is gonna get made a lot easier. Yeah, with the cleansing, right? So that'll make the jump towards C Kalos way more doable, as long as you are good on the survivability and you can do the long runs. So that's kind of where my whole process is at.
Sounds super fun.
Yeah. Well, the DA is almost 281. I think it took me like a year and a half or something of dailies to get from 280 with nothing to 280 with like 70%. So it's like, because I really took like all of the EXP on the arc, right? So half the time I did dailies on the DA was just like 10 minutes a day, basically. Didn't even take the EXP there. Like everything went to the arc. But now everything is going to go to the DA. So DA should, I gotta be at 281 soon. But yeah, I'm still doing High Mountain, and I got the booster as well, the Solar booster, but I'm mostly using that one now to get like all of my characters 6 job to just unlock their mastery cores. That's mostly what I'm working on for that.
So are they just like H Lotus mules then, or are you gonna continue using them for H Lotus though?
Yeah, I'll have to see if they can keep coming, because right now I do 11 hard lotuses a week. And then you still have just sometimes 3 or 4 weeks in a row where you don't see a heart, which is great. But because I'm perma using heart on the arc now, But since I have started doing that, I've added our Lotus Mules, and I've broken even. I think I'm at +1 even so far. In like the
Nice.
last 6 hearts or so that I've used, or 7. So it's
So
on par
how mu-
now. And I got all of them drop rate as well last like MMT this one. So they're all at like 360-ish drop rate, all of them.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just to maintain. But like the idea behind it is if the DA gets like 1 or 2 more drops, then that guy wants to use heart as well. So I'm gonna have to like supply 2 characters with like perma hearts, which that's
That sounds tough. That
so
sounds tough.
my hope is that I can hit the Extreme Lotus and then Extreme Lotus Heart before I start like running out of hearts, and then I'll only have 1 character that needs hearts, and then I can keep, if there's some spare hearts, I can use those for like really challenging like liberation quests, because all of the boss mules now as well are all libbing. So Extreme Lotus should become a total joke once that's done. Sorry, Hard Lotus on those characters should become a total joke.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. No,
That's
I do want to get to
extreme hand
Extreme
stiff,
Lotus.
I guess.
Yeah. I want to get to that one with my DA, but the DA is definitely like a size smaller than the Arc at this point. Even though the level is close, as well, probably since you've been playing for a year now, but like a level is not really a good indicator, right? It's like how long, because my character was 280 when 6 job came out, and it's still 280, so the 6 job just can't be that good because there's
It's
just
not
no
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the booster a while, but yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's still early days.
I'm just curious. What made you make a DA?
So I started so it's like I'm like 8.5 years in now, so it was like 2016, like just before the anniversary, I think. That's when I wanted to just try streaming, and then I tried a bunch of different games, and I'm like, which games do I know? So I just tried a bunch of games, and then you stream and you have like 2 viewers, and someone say hi, you say hi back and ask a question, and they would just ignore you. So I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Don't know walled by stream. That's
yeah,
crazy.
actually buy the chat, yeah. And then MapleStory was the first game where I just like, loaded in and streamed that I pretty quickly get to like, 10 to 15 viewers, and actually there would be like a little bit of communication and people would be asking questions pretty quickly. So it was like, oh, this is interesting. Like there's some community for this. And then I had an account on Vera. So I logged in, and it was like beyond dead. The market looked like a nightmare, and it looked like it was just the same game that I left and that I didn't want to play. And then I saw that there was another server called Reboot, and then I just watched a YouTube video, and it said like, oh, good. And they said like, I don't know if it was like top 5 starters for a Reboot server or something, because Reboot had just come out the winter before, so the Reboot was only like 4 to 5 months old at that point. So I just completely locked into that. And it said that DA was like a pretty good starter because it's very tanky, and HP was actually a thing back then. And also you could, with like cooldown reduction from hats, there wasn't the rule yet that if you go under 10 seconds that there's a reduction. So you just got full second reduction the whole way. So if you got like 4 or 5 second reduction on your hat, you could make the cooldown for Nether Shield 0 seconds. So you could just endlessly spam them, and it would just be flying around, lifestealing, and just keeping you alive and just destroying everything. Little did I know that just got patched when I picked the character. I didn't really pick the character for that, but it just said like it's a good starter. I had never played it. Like it had come out when I was still playing, but I'd never mained it. So I just gave it a try. And honestly, like Glide I just loved Glide. Like it's just so cool. It's so versatile. And again, like back then, being tanky was actually really important. You had the early bosses like Zakum, but mainly you had like Sea Queen, for example, was a complete just dud to a DA because you just lifesteal everything, you tank everything, you don't have to dodge the breath.
Flames. Yeah.
You could do back then, like doing Horntail and getting the accessories, which is so easy because you just tank everything. You get seduced, you get hit like 16 times, you don't care, your HP is just filling up. So it made the early game really, really easy. And I think at like 180, I discovered that I had a flash jump as well because I was just gliding everywhere.
I was gonna say, as soon as I played Demon Slayer, I unbinded Glide and put it back to double jump as soon as possible.
Not a real demon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that thing is clunky, and I don't like it.
You clip the wings immediately. Oh, imagine being a bird, and the first thing you do is
this birdie doesn't need to fly. All right,
clamping the wings
jump
together.
Yeah, you can jump.
But yeah, I had a really tough decision to make because it's like a lot of lore, but like when 5th job came out, basically the 5th job for Demon Avenger was just dog shit. Like he had Frenzy, but with Frenzy, you did more damage the lower your HP was, but if you're low HP, you would just die to everything because we didn't have Blast like we do now and other skills, and Frenzy wouldn't stop at 30% like it does now, and it would just leave puddles on the ground randomly, and then other monsters have to walk into them for them to trigger. So it was just, on a boss, it made a little bit of sense because they're all on the same spots. If it's a mobile boss, it's okay, but if it's a mobile boss or it's mobbing, like I would just, and then they invented AFK mobs, so I would just start dying randomly every 5 minutes because I would be at like 1% HP the whole time to do optimal damage, and then if it spawned on me, I would just die randomly, and it just...
Fantastic.
Yeah, and the 5th job was basically just decent skills for us. That was the whole 5th job. Like, decent Sharp Eyes was good, decent Speed Infusion was good, decent Hyper Body was great, right? So all of the decent combat orders, even, like, these were good, but, like, we had no 5th job. And I really had to decide, like, do I make an arcane weapon? Because that's back when you had to get all the droplets through mobbing, so it was a huge investment. Or do I move to a different character? And I decided to still make the arcane weapon on the DA, but I think it was another 6 months or a year later where I'm like, I'm still playing the same class as like 2 years ago, and everyone you see getting the coolest 5th job skills, and you're just still sitting there, just, you know, using your 3rd job, your 2nd job,
standing in the corner with your little shields, yeah.
Oh, and it's like, what am I? Yeah, this is just, yeah. So and at that point, like, I had a bunch of other characters, so that's why a bunch of my characters are pretty juiced, because they were all characters that I was considering maining. So I was all bringing them up further. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, is this a boss mule?" I would say like, "No, this is not really a boss mule. If it was a boss mule, I would have funded this completely differently. I would have stopped on certain things way later. Like, I wouldn't go 21 arcanes on this shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense." But now it's like,
no, this isn't my boss mule.
No, so I definitely have like distinct groups. So I've got like the Arc and the DA were like full on mains, and then I have the Cannoneer, the Marksman, and the Hero were potential mains at some point. But like it wasn't around this point that I really had to decide like what character do I move to. And like, I like the Marksman, but not enough. I like the Hero, but not enough. Kind of like you, I guess. I like the CM, but also not enough. Like not main worthy. And then R came out, and it was just like so OP. It was just like stupid not to play it. It was I felt like every 1 million mesos spent on the arc, you got like 1 billion back and worth of damage, and it just compared to the. But I was contrasting it to the DA, which was just like a dud for the last 2 years. So maybe the comparison there was also a little bit wild. But then yeah, the arc was not exactly my playstyle, and it was way more, well, compared to DA at least, way more complex. But it just felt so much better to just actually spend money and time on it and actually see something happen. Yeah, see any kind of return. So, and then I basically stuck with the arc the whole while until it reached 280, and then what buffed you? Destiny happened, and Destiny, although it was a Explorer rework, was actually the character that got reworked the most and got buffed the most was the Demon Avenger. And then because I just hit 280 then and kind of had the same thing that you're thinking now with 285 than I have now with 285, was like, do I really need to jump like past this level? Is there really content for me out there that makes it worth it? And then I decided to go back to the DA and bring the DA back up to 280 as well. And then once that happened, 6 Shop came out, and then I decided I tried to push both, and I was like, this is not working. This is not it.
Yeah, no,
so then I decided to pick the arc there because I liked it more, and it hit a little bit more of the pitch, and I was like, I'm gonna push this guy, and then now I'm going back to the DA. So I'm kind of like bringing them up, like, you know, frog leaping them one at a time.
It would be so good if you could move frags from one character to another, but I guess that'd be too much.
I mean, right now you can't even reuse them on the same character, right? Like if you were to change to a fire poison, you have to start from scratch. It's just all gone.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
I mean, we knew that they were trying to, you know, discourage people from job changing, but yeah, if you were looking for...
No, that didn't stop like people from KMS. I mean, there's a lot of 290 FPs, for example. Well, I guess interactive is a little bit different.
Interactive, yeah, it's very different. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of events giving out energy, and then you could just buy the fragments. But it's still quite an investment just buying like 80,000 of those things to rebuild your character. That's a doozy.
They do things differently, interactive people. That is for sure. So, well, thank you for sharing that with me. It's pretty interesting. I guess the only other question I have now is like, I guess what should be my future upgrades besides like Hexa? Should I just focus on finishing my arcanes? Probably, right? Even though I don't have spares. Versus going for my Eternal Piece that I have and the Lucid Belt. Like, let's say there's an event in 2 weeks. Which one should I prioritize?
So let's say there's a Star Force event. I guess you have a whole bunch of droplets for arcanes, right? So I would always look at. There's always like the layer above everything is like, is it a necessary upgrade or a desirable upgrade? If something is a necessary upgrade, then I think look for the nearest event, and if that's super far away, maybe even do things off event. I don't think you're, at the off event level, but you might be looking at the on event level. But if it's just a desirable upgrade, then I'm always like, and this is again like to segue to go like a little bit back to what I was saying, is like the reason that my characters that were side characters at some point are so funded as they are now and are not specifically not boss mules is because they organically came into the good gear that they have now because they've been doing bosses for so long. And if you have a bunch of different projects running where certain characters just gather those resources over time, then when you're looking for somewhere to make a big gain, it's possible that you don't really need damage for like the next 3 months or so. And then when you suddenly do, you maybe do have 6 backups, and then it's like, oh, when's the next event? Boom, let's just send those backups. And it's like, oh, I need 1 more. Okay, I'll buy 1 more and be done. Versus, I need 22 now. Do you really need 22 now, or is it just like the next logical step? Because it could be that if you start adding, 5.4 bill, right, per piece to purchase, that it does not become the next step anymore, and that actually just saving for cubing or just sending mass cubes is actually a better financial decision than if you have to buy backups.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying arcane backups just because the boxes aren't really dropping. I do think that I should finish my 22 arcanes just because then it would help me reach the threshold to the newer bosses. I mean, the harder bosses. I'm just debating whether I want to, tap the belt for fun versus the Eternal, which is gonna it takes like 1 build per tap. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, we saw someone tapping today. I don't know if you saw that, but it was like he had 7 bill and he started at 16 and ended at 16 and never even saw 17. So like that's the off.
Sounds about right. That
off
sounds
event
about right.
Eternal experience. I think. Well, I'm not trying to like project what I would do too much onto it. I think getting the arcanes at least. I would say if you're gonna buy backups, I would say try to get them to like 21, because at that point, like the marginal gains from 21 to 22 is pretty low, and waiting on backups for that, I think would be like way smarter. So like the least like risk averse would be like just try to get them to 19, because then you probably only need to buy like 1, probably, right? Maybe even none. 21, I'm guessing you have to consider maybe that you have to buy like 2 to 3. And then 22, you probably have to consider more like buying like 4 to 5. So that's kind of like what's in my head in terms of like backups that I am looking for before I even try. But if you're, wanting to go, then that's the amount of backups I would have in mind that you have to be like okay with buying. So I would also see like in between options as like just going for 19 now until maybe there's a Shining, because that's probably like in December. And then you have 5, 10, 15 and 30% off, and you probably have more backups, and then it's like a guarantee to finish it without having to buy anything. And so that's like already planned. But so I don't know what your patience is there and what your risk aversion is there. That level is kind of personal.
That's kind of tough because waiting to 22 arcanes or something until December is like,
yeah,
I feel like it's a little bit too long, especially with the pace of the bossings that I'm kind of expected to do.
I guess the question would be like if 21 and 22 would make a significant enough difference to risk that already.
Right. So that's the reason why my 2 pieces are 17 actually.
Well, if I see 2 22s and I see a 17 and a 19, I can already guess what's going on.
No, I just tap. I don't care.
Because it's 2 people. Yeah, so it's like a tap. It's a tap situation. Because like I would never have this. I would have like one that's 22 maybe, and then the other ones that are all 21, and then maybe one of them is 19 because that's the one that was unlucky. But I would never have 2 under the Star Force of the other one. Like that just. Yeah, that wouldn't. Yeah,
it's always just 1 tap away. You just gotta keep going.
Yeah, it's always a boom. Every boom is also a tap away, so that's the.
Nah,
No, but like I said, like I'm very risk averse, so
no.
I'm just like laying out like the potentials. I would say. I think you're totally within your rights to say like I'm going to tap to 21. But let's say you go for 21 and it costs you like 5 booms at that point. Like you might also say like, I'm okay waiting for more backups now. Or maybe you go to 21 and you don't boom a single one. Then maybe you say, okay, I'm going to try for 22, right? So I think it's good to stay flexible there as well to just keep your own sanity in terms of like your luck to make it fit within your budget. Because I think the rest of the money, it's all going to go into cubing, right? So I think you want at least like 2-line magic attack, 1-line boss on the weapon, and 3-line magic attack on the WSE. So that's I mean like base value I think is like 40 to 45 bill here, but I imagine you're making a decent amount of money, so it's not like
Yeah, like
multiple
just
months of saving.
bossing is like 20 bill a week,
Mm-hmm.
and when I do farm, probably a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to change my shield anytime soon just yet, just because it's double prime.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine. I think looking what the weapon ends up rolling.
The weapon is gross. I need to definitely
Yeah.
adjust that. So I
There's
guess
just a lot of outcomes for the weapon, right? Like in the emblem really only has 1 or 2 outcomes, because even like a 23 magic attack and a 40 ID you wouldn't keep because you just have too much as a bishop. It's just not worth it.
Yeah,
So
that's actually what I switched it from. I switched it from 40 and 20 to 23.
Yeah, you have just too much. So I think a weapon like it'd have to be 23 and 30 or higher, right, on a weapon. Or better, I should say, I guess.
No, it has to be 33. 33 at least. 33 or bust.
Okay. That makes sense. And then, but yeah, you're going to roll over that. You're probably going to do glowing, so you just want to have like a pretty big budget, right?
Glowing? The
Glow
pink?
cubes? Yeah. Well, bright is pink, right? Glowing is blue? No?
Oh, I don't know. I've only called them pinks and blues, so.
Yeah. We have we used to have red and black cubes, so we're dealing with all of the numbers. I think the bright used to be the black, but then blue is also blue, so that makes it not as convenient to remember. Yeah, glowing cubes.
Yeah.
Like this is that's a budget rerolls, right? You get way more rolls, so if you're looking for just flat out 3-line, then that's on average way cheaper than going for bright. But you have boss and double prime, so you might want to roll over that with brights. That'll be up to you.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. So I guess in terms of what we discussed today, it's basically just finishing off 22, finishing off WSE. Potentials, of course, and Hexa, and that's basically the biggest gains in terms of my culvert. Is that?
Yeah, the rest is more incidental and it's more luck. So that's like the ring, the Eternals, and the pitches. That's just all a waiting game. You can't really rush that. You just make sure that you get all those clears for those bosses. But other than that, there's not much you can do. And then there's like the specific min-maxing of the setup, right? Where there might be some tips and tricks of some bishops that can help out, or some meta changes that will help. I don't know if you're there could be some min-maxing within like the Lynx, Legion, Artifact, Hyperstats, that whole blob, that there might be different optimization there based on the potential you end up getting on your WSE, right? Because I don't know if your weapon rolls like 26% magic attack and like 35 boss or something, which is like technically a triple prime, but it has boss. Right?
So just looking at Maple Scatter, boss just doesn't scale as well as magic attack. For me right now, boss damage would only give 40 boss damage will give me 3.7 final damage, and magic attack 12% will give me like 7%. So I would roll over boss damage whenever I can, even if it's
so I'm comparing 35 boss with 7% magic attack. So that
something like that.
So that would be divided by 12, bruh. So a little bit over half. Yeah, so that'd be pretty close, right? 35 boss would be close to 9.4, so like 3.35, something like that. 1/8 off it. And then 7 magic attack would be a little bit over half, so that would be 3 point. Yeah, that would be closer to 3.7 or something. Yeah. Yeah, so it'd still roll over. Yeah. Okay.
But you know,
Yeah.
it all depends on how much meso I have. That's all
Mhm.
that matters.
Well, yeah, so it comes down to making money, and then based on that, you also have to see like if you do hit a pitch, right? Like, are you gonna try to tap it, or are you gonna keep with your existing goals to make sure that you can get those guaranteed goals? Because even if you, I don't know if you have hearts though, and you hit one more pitch, you could definitely switch over, right?
I do have
6 up.
I have 3 hearts right now. I do have that. I also have a belt that I need to tap.
Okay.
I already boomed one though, so I'm like kind of nervous about this
Oh.
one. But
You already boomed a whole belt? Oh, damn.
listen, that's the only pitch I boom on my main so far. Okay,
That's wild.
it's
I
it's
just got my
traumatic.
belt,
I'm
and that
just
was
kidding.
my
I'm just
11th
kidding.
belt. Okay.
I'm just
10
kidding. I'm
belts
just
before
kidding. I
this.
know. I'm just trolling. Please don't blame me. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
so it's
kidding.
not your first Berserk and eye patch?
On my hero, I have a couple,
Okay.
and they boomed, but
Nice.
my bishop has been pretty lucky. It's just that bishop seed, you know.
Yeah, you can get all the parties, you get all the drops. Seems like it's a good time.
I don't ask for pitch priority. I think that's a little bit too much. But
Oh, people do that? Like, I'll join your party if you give me. Yeah, I guess, yeah. That.
yeah, the end game bosses, of course. Yeah, like grindstone priority and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
You
that.
gotta save that up for grindstone priority. Because honestly, grindstone priority on bishop makes most sense because then it buffs the whole party more. So
Yeah, but then as soon as you get it, you're like, peace out. I'm going to a different party now. Now that I have a weapon jump 5.
you would do
You know?
that? That would be.
No, I wouldn't do it. Listen,
douche
I'm in a
move,
party
yeah.
with 3 shads. All right. If I haven't left with 3 gray bennies, like we're chilling. All right, we're chilling.
Do they? Well, the real question is, do they use the one after the other, or do they fill the whole map with poison clouds? That's the real question, right?
You know what? I don't even know. I'm not gonna lie.
Do they?
I
do they
don't-
not yell at each other like cloud, cloud?
No. Oh my god! Now that you mention it, I don't even know if they a smoke screen at the same time.
Smoke screen, yeah. Do they smoke screen simultaneously, or?
Oh my
That
god!
critical damage for you, man. That's
20 critical damage. Yeah.
Hey, it's not nothing, dude. It's like sharp eyes on top of sharp eyes, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. True. I'm just playing. Like I said, I like my guys, my goons. They're nice people.
Yeah,
So-
be that. Then like the regular. There's still a bunch of int, right? With relining all the stuff that's staying, and then I
Yeah,
guess
and then-
after that it would be probably after that would be the glove to get like double crit damage in 1 line int or a 7 all stat line in there.
Mhm.
After everything is like full on 3 lined. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then the next step is like full on actual double priming. And then technically the gains per money is best from the emblem. But it's such a huge chunk of money that people tend to go for the accessories first because it's a more manageable, it's like 60 bill or something, so it's a more manageable amount of money to get them like one at a time.
Right. One last question. I think this is the only question I have. When did you switch over to Eternals, by the way?
Right, there are, yes. So part of that can be class specific. So you have to look, but you don't need cooldown reduction on the hat anymore because of your second mastery, right?
Cooldown? No. Well, it's nice. You know, peacemaking farmer is still nice, but not really. I don't think so.
I understood it wasn't necessary as much anymore because of
Bigger
Solyanus and
ring.
because of and the bigger ring, exactly. So so in classes where you do need like really good hat potential, right, and cooldown stuff, they tend to just want to get their 22 hat out of the way first. So that you can lock in on the potential and on the flame and just have that done, you know. I know Demon Avenger also wants to because they scale off of the amount of stars, so you also lose damage if you don't go full 1-star switch. But there is technically it is already stronger if you go for like, I think it's 1 19-star and 2 18 stars, which could theoretically it has a decent chance of hitting that with just the first 3 pieces, right? And they're getting no booms. But there's also quite a reasonable chance that something booms, and then you need to get probably at least 4 pieces. But that could technically already be better because of the higher potentials, the percentage stat, the better flames that gives your benediction more damage again, right? Because the flames do get quite a bit higher. Like right now you have like around 100 flame score in your CRA, and like a good eternal flame is like around 175 or something. So that alone is an extra 75 stat. So compared to my piece here, if you just have a 17 star, it's with like a good flame around there, it's around 300. Well, let's say with all stat included, right? So around 300 main stat and around 30 weapon
170
magic attack.
flat? Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it could go quite a bit above this. Like I've seen people with like 150 and 6, for example. So you can go like 210, 220. Like it can go that high too. You just need 1 eternal to hit. Mine are all like around the same point now. So this one is 105 and 5, 170 with a little bit of secondary, and this one is 114 and 5 with a bunch of secondary. So
I'm gonna take your word for it. I just got an ad break, and I'll be able to see your stream again in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I hit on my first one, and then I just went for 2 17s on the other one to just switch because the set bonus is really good. It's 40 attack per set bonus coming in. So just the 4 pieces with the liberated weapon is just an extra 120 attack and 30 boss. So
you switched that when you got like 3 pieces, basically, like at a reasonable star force.
I switched when I got 1. So just the hat, because
won.
with the liberated weapon already, with the hat, with the 2 set bonus already, you can break CRA.
Alright, I was just wondering because of the Jenny weapon and losing 30 boss.
Yeah, I think some people even because you lose 30 boss, but you gain back 10, and you gain 40 extra attack, and then the extra stats and the extra potential. It can already be enough. I think people who's have like a lot of boss damage could even already switch at just a 21 piece. I think, but the alternative is like either all 19s or I think all 18s is just under. So you need like 119 and 2 18s, I believe, which you could do. But then you need to if you're through normal Kalos, like at least 30 weeks of running that shit, or like an extra 10 weeks of culling and getting that in there, so that's at least 20 weeks. Yeah.
Time gates. Gotta love them.
Yeah, big time gates. Well, that's why they're pushing people really into getting a lot of damage for those higher level bosses to just make it more reliable. Because, I mean, some people are completely done after like 5 pieces. And then there are people that have like 12, 13 pieces, and then they have like 1 of them done, And it's such a huge disparity. I think like the twins are like just. I think they have 1
30 or something.
I think they have 1 out of like 24 pieces combined between them or something. It's like.
Oh,
yeah, that's just a little low. I mean, I don't really wish that on anyone. That's a little fucked up.
Oh man, that's like the far end of like the range of like suck cards.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say if you do the calculator, like that one guy all the way on the right side with those like 40 booms. Yeah, that's that one guy. Yeah.
R.I.P. the twins.
That's not
All
good.
right.
But so that's like the main options to switch. But yeah, you gotta stay flexible on your first one. Like, let's say your first one hits 21, and you're like, I kind of want to keep this, and because my second piece is close, and maybe you can get 19 on the second one, then like 21, 19, 17, like you could probably switch that as well. So there's like a lot of options there.
Yeah, but you see 21 and your finger slips and something
Yeah,
happens.
I don't know if you're gonna be the person to like get that self-control suddenly pull that out of your ass, like mid-eternal
I
tapping.
don't think so.
I think that hesitancy comes like around eternal number 5, where you're like, maybe 21 is also like kind of good.
Yeah, but what if it all goes? You never know. What if it all goes?
I want to wear it, yeah. Well, that's what I'm. So my current strategy is, so I got 22, I have 2 17s. So now I have 1 backup now. So next event, I'm probably gonna just walk them up to 18, walk them up to 19, and then keep them there. And then once they're 19, I'm gonna just turn my pieces into either a top or a bottom and try to tap it to 21 and see if it goes. And if it goes, then I'll try to tap my existing to 22. If that goes, then, I have a spare 21 in my inventory. Bad luck, I guess. But I have a 22, so I have it as an insurance policy. If it doesn't go, then I'll switch to the new one, and I'll just do the same thing with my next backup for the other piece that's 19, and then just repeat until... So very risk averse, right? Probably not the strategy you want to go, but that's like kind of like my whole thing. But I feel like I can do that because I hit my first one on 22, so I can kind of, I got ahead. So now I think I'm just like being extra careful because I can be more careful because I have more pieces to play with at this point.
Right.
But if I was
Ooh,
on
I
hat
don't know
number
if
hat number
they have
8 and still no 22, I don't know. I might make completely different decisions. So there's definitely not one correct way to play it. There's risk aversion. There's which bosses you're doing and how quickly you're getting the pieces, and then there's just purely the RNG and how that affects your decision making.
Pray to RNGs and you'll get awarded.
Yeah, light the candle in the shrine. Praise be to Inkwell. All of that.
W and Quill. Alright, well, I think
Yeah,
I'm
that's
out
a
of
good thing.
questions, Scardor. I
Okay.
don't really think I have too much to ask.
Yeah. Oh, you said future hyperburn here. I don't know if you have the.
Yeah, so I was
The
thinking
Mercedes
about
is
should I
done.
just hyperbear my Kana and then main, but like I think that's a decision I'll have to make once I'm 280. And also I'll probably make my Kana boss meal first too, just to see if I actually like playing the class.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I almost tell no one to like make a new character a hyperburn, but also always just like get the character at least to like 220 or something, right? So you can use bosses of a little bit more substance to know if you really feel like getting the bosses, and then you probably already funding it for that as well, and then you can finish 260 very easily as well because the character is not just like wearing like 2 pencilier pieces and a Sweetwater weapon, because then you're like then that is actually annoying to hyperburn. But you want to make sure that you're putting those levels to good use, because it's going to go to 260. You're going to unlock the 6th job. You probably want to do at least Hard Lotus and below, right? So you want to make sure it's a decision that a character you want to come back to weekly. So I would definitely advise.
Yeah, I don't want to regret wasting resources.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because you can make 260s, but Hyperburn, you don't want to waste it if you don't have to. And then if you delete the character, then you lose the whole thing again, and then you have to reset. So it's better get it right the first time, And then you can probably also burn either a Shade or an Aaron, which is I think most people are gonna do Shade for the crit damage.
Yeah, and plus, Shade is probably gonna be the play. I wonder if Shade's stronger than Aaron after the remaster. I haven't looked at the.
It might just be. Plus your support, so you throw a Shade into like into those parties, the smaller party size. I think the hybrid classes were going to do really well. So like Shade, Lyn, Paladin. Mercedes Arc have good buff as well, but I was thinking more like Bam, Bam, like those classes.
Yeah.
I
know what you're
they
talking
will start
about.
doing really well. I think they're gonna get a lot of stonks from smaller parties. It's mostly the classes now that are buffing everyone. So specifically Bishop, but Bishop is in such a good spot that even if the party size goes down to 3 or even 2, I mean you start competing with Lyn a bit more there. But even then, still Bishop brings quite a bit of damage, so it's established.
I actually wonder if Lyn is better than Bishop, even with like the Awakening. Because Bishop also offers so much FD off burst. I'm not too sure.
Might be a burst versus DPM difference on the party member.
I think could be.
Lyn has like the healing plus the overhealing plus the cleansing. Well, I think
Yeah,
make the boss fight. Like if the other person is a thief with last resort, they'll love that extra healing that they're getting.
Oh yeah, true. That would be pretty sweet. Yeah, no, I didn't think about that.
So I think like
Night Lord
plus Paladin or plus Lyn, I think they'll love it, because like with Paladin they just get 30-second iframe, and then with Lyn they get the shield, the extra door, plus the healing.
They just can't die. Yeah, they just can't die.
It's really hard to die, and then you still have your Jenny iframe if all shit hits the fan. So yeah.
I might even make a Lyn too. My Lyn's like 248 now.
I don't think you'd hate it. It's pretty.
Yeah, I like Lager.
Like it's simple, but you have just enough tools to still have something to do in all the scenarios. So I think if you like playing support, I think you'll have a good future with Lyn as well, with smaller parties.
Yeah. I think she's a little bit more complex when obviously you're doing parties because of like the teleports and the heals and everything.
Yeah.
She's really fun to play. I do enjoy playing Lyn.
Okay.
Yep.
So
but other than that,
potential. Yeah.
Other than that, I have no more questions.
Okay. Well, hopefully we got a little bit insight on all the things that you were wondering about. Maybe my personal experience or in general. Just thinking about it. Sometimes it's good to just talk it through, you know, because the game just keeps going on, and you're like, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, but then you have to make decisions at some point.
Overwhelming, yeah. There's just so much content, you know, because it's just a normal game.
Yeah.
From your game.
Well, and every new boss they added just like 4 difficulty levels to it, so now you just have 4 new bosses, kind of, right? Because every boss is... It is a huge difference if you're doing easy Kalos, normal Kalos, or hard or chaos or extreme. Like, those are miles apart, right? Yeah.
I wonder when we'll be able to clear extreme culling. I don't think any server has cleared it, right?
Okay, so so I heard that in order to have enough DPS to be part of an extreme culling party, you have to be able to kill extreme black mage
in like
by
6
yourself.
minutes or something. Yeah.
I think in under 3 minutes or something by yourself.
3 minutes. Oh
So
my god.
Yeah, like definitely before your next origin comes out. Like, you could use like 1 origin. So, and I think there's 1 person in entire DFKMS that like met those requirements. So that it doesn't even have anyone to party with to even try. So they're just still waiting for some mad power creep up there.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was like under. It was well, maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. It was like under. It was under 6. Yeah. So it was like not soon, not soon. And those people already have everything, right? Like, those people, if I had a session with those people, it's like, well, my matrix is completely maxed. I have full set. Like, I'm full 23. I'm working on triple primes right now. Like, what?
Well, shoot.
I have 120% boss damage familiars, right? Like, because that's I guess.
Oh no.
That would be another thing, right? Is like to finish your boss times, right? That's another.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
They're probably two-lighting their boss fams.
Well, it stacks at 120, but yeah, if you hit like
Wait,
a 30 out of 35, then.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, can't you get like 30 on your second line? So like.
You can't, but 120% in total of all the lines combined is the highest you can go.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny thing. When it came out, it's the same for IED. So like additively, you can go over 120% IED. But what they did accidentally is they added all the lines together to 120%, like additively. So anyone who went over 100% actually got true damage on everything, and they could reset everything else IED, and they needed 0 IED on everything else, and they had true damage. So they had to go back into the code and change. Like, I had a friend with a 30-35 IED familiar, and another with like 35. So he was just doing true damage, and that wasn't. On a Demon Slayer, it was fucking busted.
Imagine you could do those on those grand bosses. That'd be insane.
Yeah, because then, I mean, if ever bosses come out that are like 500% PDR, 1000% PDR, it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm still doing true damage. Like, you can have 1,000,000 PDR. I'm doing the exact same damage, right? So it's, yeah, you just can't have that. You can't be so future-proof, but yeah, I guess we overlooked boss times a little bit, but that's another decision to make. Is like, are you going to train a little bit in the area to get another boss fam or more? But you know, like you said, we have to look at the blue cards
patch
first and see what the damage is there before you can really fit that into the whole puzzle.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be waiting. I have a couple of useless unique fams. Might wanna reroll them if you can do that.
Yep.
I could imagine you could re-roll any of the cards. Like, getting a legendary Pinot card then would be like 2 pitches. That'd be amazing.
Well, the blue cards, yeah. Well, depending on how we get the blue cards, like the event blue cards are probably going to expire by then, of course. But if there's some way to keep getting them and then save up resources, and then if you hit a legendary, yeah. I think I saw one person with a 45% legendary Pinot in heroic. That's some. Yeah, that's nice.
That's disgusting.
That's really nice. Because then you can get away with 2 30% to hit, to basically hit cap. So you don't have to, or like a 30 and it was a 140 and 130. Yeah, 140 and 130 or 5 off. So then, I don't know if you looked at the cost, the average cost for like a 40% boss. It's kind of disgusting. So
I didn't, but I imagine it's like what, a couple thousands of hours or something crazy.
Like, look at the cost, because someone did the maths on Reddit. Let me see. I think it's this one. Like, if you're making epics, the average cost for a large drop is 15,000.
Mhm.
So that's like points, right? So it's 10 for a common, 15 for a rare. It'd be like 10,000 rare cards on average. Sorry, 1,000 rare cards on average. And then 40 boss specifically is unique is 254,000. So yeah, that's like what, 18 times the average for a large drop on Epic. Yeah. Well, it's actually pretty much just 10 times the amount of getting a large drop on a unique line. Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of familiars. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll think about fans once they, you know.
Yeah. Let's look at the patch
Patch
notes first
notes,
and everything.
yes.
Yeah.
A little bit preemptive.
Yeah. Let's not get carried away. You're right. All right, but yeah, I wish you the best of luck on everything, of course, and yeah, I mean, hopefully it was useful for you, and I'll
Yeah.
catch you later sometime.
Yep. Thank you so much, Scardor, and I
Alright.
appreciate letting me win the giveaway.
Well, I didn't let you win, okay? It was a random
Alright,
draw, okay?
No. All right, dude. Sure. When did you say you want the door again?
Later. Okay, not right now.
I'm just
We're still
kidding.
live, yeah.
All right, true. All right.
All right,
Bye.
all right. Have a good one.
Mhm.
There we go. All right. So that was one of our winners. If you want to win one of these sessions as well, where you can kind of shoot the shit, but also just ask about anything in the game, any bosses, any content, maybe any personal stuff, any time management things, anything like that, make sure to reply to the next YouTube post, which will be posted around the 15th of September, around that time. So keep your eyes open. Usually the posts stay up about 2 days, and then I draw the winners from there. I think this time there were only like 10 comments, and I draw 2 winners, so that's a 20% chance to win, so that's pretty good. I used to do it with the comments on the videos, but, you know, that was a bad idea. I'm glad I do it this way instead. It's way easier. People actually respond. People in the sessions. You can also get one of these sessions if you want to, if you're subscribed over at my Twitch channel. By just watching the stream, you get free channel points, and you can just buy them in the shop with those free channel points as long as you have a subscription. Prime, you can subscribe even for free, so you can basically get the session for free as well through there. Just takes a little bit longer. Or you can also buy my time, depending on what kind of session you're looking for, whether you want it privately. It doesn't have to be live on stream. The video doesn't have to go up if that's something that you prefer. It can be a short session, just looking at equips and looking at the next stuff, or it can be more holistic like this one, looking at everything on your account and basically taking everything in, taking everything into account in terms of like progression for your account and for your character. But it could take many different shapes and sizes. Sometimes we focus more on bosses, sometimes we focus more on other things. So, whatever you need to talk about in that time. But yeah, hopefully this was useful to a little bit to at least some of you, or at least entertaining to listen to while you're whopping the pain away. I mean, making lovely, great gains in MapleStory. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you either in the next video, or you can check another video out. Maybe it'll be on screen right now, or I'll catch you live over at twitch.tv/Scardor, where I stream every day, and then you can be in the chat as well during things like this, or ask me pretty much anything. Oh yeah, these commands, this information all comes from commands that I use in the channel. Those are available to everyone as well. So you just use !" and info, and then you'll see all of the possible commands that I have available. And then you can use in my chat, and then one of the bots will give you a reply. It'll be either a YouTube video, it'll be a document, it'll be a little infograph that I made, or it'll be a link to a Discord, or a link to things that other people made. A lot of people make a lot of cool stuff about this game. Okay, I'll stop ranting. If you need any of that, check out my Twitch channel. If you just want more of this, stay on YouTube and click something else here. And hopefully you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.